Welcome to the Hey Hot Mama podcast. I'm Jen Peralt, founder of Hot Off the Rack and Hot Mama Collective.
And I'm Liz Guidotti, Jen's mom, also known as the OG Hot Mama.
We're a mother-daughter duo having real conversations about motherhood, health, life, and finding more joy in the everyday moments.
And Jenny is known for her positive outlook and daily gratitude practice. And together, we're here to share stories, perspective shifts, and plenty of laughs along the way.
Because at the end of the day, we all deserve to feel like the hot mamas we truly are. Welcome to the Hey Hot Mama podcast. I'm Jen Peralt of Hot Off the Rack and Hot Mama Collective.
And I'm Liz Guidotti, otherwise known as the OG.
And the OG what?
I don't know.
OG Hot Mama.
Okay,
OG
that
Hot
thing.
Mama.
That's right.
We have a special guest today. We have Emily Bravender. And I left out a few details about her whenever I called you to say that we were having her come on.
And when did we decide we were having her come on?
Just today. Emily,
We put Emily in this position.
Yeah, I texted Emily. She was at work, and whenever she had a break, she texted me back, and she was like, sure, I'll come on your podcast.
But did Emily know what she was getting herself into?
Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out. And again, we haven't even let Emily talk. Say hello, Emily.
Hi. Sorry, Emily. We always forget that. We forget that part.
Well, the reason why you're really going to like her, in addition to the fact that she is such a resilient and brave and hardworking person, is the fact that she is a fitness instructor.
Oh, yes. My child. I have another child.
Yes, she prioritizes health and fitness.
Yes.
And
we will definitely have to get into that, Emily. I do want to hear that story.
Yes. And on top of that, you have even coached some of her cousins in cheerleading.
Oh.
I want to say the Libertas.
Tori, yeah. Tori.
Absolutely.
Oh, I coached Tori for quite some time. Love her.
My
yes.
little Tori.
Yes.
She's all grown up now.
She was really good.
And in fact, I'll tell you how Emily and I met. Emily followed me on Instagram for a long time on my blog Instagram. And she came to a hair curling class.
Did you
Courtney
give a
put
hair?
on? No,
okay.
Courtney, our friend Courtney. Courtney does our hair.
It was great.
And we put on this class at a boutique. I say we. I was just there as a supportive actor to Courtney, you know. and she came to it, and so we got to meet. And I
Don't
remember,
judge. Don't judge him right now. It's been a whole day of work.
A lot from Courtney.
Yes,
And we're gonna have to let Courtney
and it was
know.
fun. We just connected. That was probably
She's my
like,
hair. She does my hair.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Ever
probably like 9
That was a long
years
time
ago
ago,
now. It was
yeah.
a long time ago. And she continued to follow along, and she always would comment and message me whenever she would see our videos, because she said it would remind her of her mom. It just made her feel close to her mom. And which is why I really want her to come on today, because Mother's Day is coming up.
It is.
And we want to honor all sides of motherhood, even the heavy ones. And, you know, while Mother's Day is a really exciting time for people, for yourselves to be celebrated as mothers, and you get to celebrate the moms that are here, there's a lot of people that it brings up a heaviness because they don't have their moms. Or there's lots of different reasons, which we're going to get into today. We've got tissues, guys.
We
Because
do.
this is a heavy-
We do. And there's all kinds of ways to celebrate and honor mothers at all different stages of life. And so I'm so glad that you pulled all this together on a moment's notice. Emily, thank you.
Emily's here for all the moms. She shows up for them. And I forgot to mention, she comes to all of my Hot Mama Collective events, and you know, all the donations that we get, Emily displays them all. She makes them all look super organized, because she works for the NEAT method. So she's a phenomenal organizer, but just makes it look really nice on the display table so that everyone can see all of the donations that everybody contributed. Nice. And yes, that's what we're going to get into today. Like I said, I brought the tissues because Emily, I mean, we haven't. The next time that Emily and I connected in person, after meeting her with the hair curling session, was we would see each other at Stone Creek with her kids.
Oh, you saw her at Stone Creek?
Yeah, at the pool.
Okay. Please
pool,
clarify
yes,
where
at
you
the
saw her at
pool.
Stone
Hey,
Creek.
she does
But I've been
classes.
to
She
Emily's
comes to
classes,
classes,
and don't I
yes.
always smile in
You
the back?
do, and it
I'm
makes me so
smiling
happy.
the whole time at Emily
The
up there.
smilers are my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't
Emily,
care if you just
also
come, but if
teach-
you smile.
You also teach classes at Stone Creek?
I
She
teach
teaches-
body combat.
Yeah. and
I do
would
hear
go to
about
her
that class.
Yes,
Okay,
it's fun.
I have to go.
You have to. There's
There's
lot
another
of, There's a
one.
lot of classes that we've got to make, and this is where we're going to get into the heavy part. And actually, let me just give you a brief overview. That the reason why I wanted Emily to come on here to talk about honoring all sides of motherhood before Mother's Day is because not only did she lose her mother when you were you about 19? 19 years old. She, a few years ago, lost her son. And we're going to make it through this part right here. She has continued to show up for herself and to show up for her family. And it's so inspiring in the community that she took herself and she trained in something new. You started teaching classes. She shows up in her community volunteering. She comes to my Hot Mama collective events. And it's just so amazing to see that when you can go through something really hard and you can come back really strong from it. And on top of that, she also started a run in her son's name to honor him, to keep his story alive. And that's another reason why we're here today is when you allow people to tell stories about the people they lost, that's how you get to keep them alive. That's how you keep their memory alive as you continue to tell the story.
Well, I'm so glad that we are here, Emily, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing you honor your mom and your son. So.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Jen.
Oh, thank you. I tried to continue all my words through my tears. So let's talk first about your mom.
Okay.
You were 19 years old, and tell us just a little bit about the loss of her.
So being so young and in college, it was hard. Your mom is, y'all see it. She was my favorite person. She was the life of the party. She was really amazing. And losing her kind of rocked my world, but it also showed me that I'm not one to exclude myself or, stay home. It was Christmas, the day before Christmas Eve when she passed. And right after Christmas, I was back at school. And sometimes I think that I, would try and do too much. And it's just you kind of go through that phase where you kind of feel lost. And I did. I felt really lost, like in college, what I was doing. But I just always tried to stay happy and just do the things that my mom, she brought out the life of people. She, made everybody laugh and cooked. I mean, she was an amazing cook. And so she would just cook for people. And so I would continue that by cooking in college for all my friends and kind of doing little things to honor her. And it was
so
tough.
you kind of felt that this is how your mom was, and you wanted to continue to honor her and to feel that she's still here.
Right.
And by doing that, you went out and did the things that she would have done and that she would have probably been proud of you and what she wanted you to do.
Right.
But that's not easy.
No.
So how do you force yourself to do that? Because I would imagine, to me, what the hardest part would be is going to people's houses and seeing them with their moms or having events come up in your life.
Right.
And your mom's not there.
Right. It's definitely gotten, there was a time when I was, in college and getting married, that was very difficult. And then having kids, my own children, was even more difficult. But, we have pictures all in my china cabinet of her, and my children, even though they've never met her, they are it's almost like they're just in tune with her, and we called her Mbeezy. And so they'd be like, oh, I bet Mbeezy did this. Or, you know, we kind of
that's
just
sweet.
keep the connection, and then we'll go
You kept
visit her.
you kept her alive
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in your kids' minds.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as it is very difficult, you know, seeing it also makes me happy because I've had so many best friends' moms. My mom's best friend, Nancy, her daughter, Raquel, we're best friends.
Aw.
So she always, you know, took care of me, always sends me birthday cards. So I have a lot of people that kind of step in, you know, so that always helped growing up, you know.
Yeah, and I like hearing that part of it too,
Mhm.
because I have known kids whose parents have passed away,
Mhm.
and you kind of wonder as a mother figure, what can I do for that child
Right.
that their parent first off would want me to do,
Mhm.
and that would help. And so I'm so glad that you said those parents sent you birthday cards.
Mhm. Still does.
Aw.
Still does.
And I wanted to ask you too, when you got married,
Mhm.
did you do anything specific to honor your mom or to have your mom's presence there? Was it anything?
I'm trying to think what we did. We took her wedding dress and made it a little pillow, the ring bearer pillow with that. You know, I'm trying to
Well,
think what
that's a
else.
lot.
No, that is.
right
That's
there.
something right
Yeah.
there to knit it
so
into the pillow.
special.
I
Yeah.
loved that.
I love that idea
Yeah.
because my stepdaughter is getting married and her
Mhm.
mother has passed away, and we are trying to think of how we can honor her mother. And
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that because
Yeah,
that might
I
be
loved
something
that.
Yeah.
Because I definitely couldn't fit in her wedding dress.
she was smaller than
Oh,
you.
yes.
Oh my!
Oh
That's
my
great,
goodness,
yeah.
because you're so tiny.
She
I
was-
can't
she was
imagine
like-
a
she was
tinier
real
person.
tiny. Yeah, she had like the tiniest little wrist. I don't get it.
And
I
she
don't-
had a big family, right?
Mhm, yeah. Yep. Lots of brothers and sisters. So
You say that she was a really good cook. What kind of food?
Italian,
Italian.
everything. And she did not write down any recipes.
They never do. The good ones never write them down. But do any of her siblings, can they cook like her?
Yeah, my Aunt Cammie, she's really good. And
Did you-
they can all kind of cook though, I think.
Did you
Yeah.
ever try to go to them and get a recipe from them? Some of your mom's favorites
Well,
that you would like
actually-
to pass down to your kids?
So I always try and ask, but Miss Yvette Jemison, I don't know.
Oh,
if you-
yeah. Mhm.
She my mom would go cook with her, and one time they did a spaghetti and meatballs, and Miss Yvette was very good and wrote everything down.
Aw.
And so for Gavin, my son's first birthday, I did an Italian like pizza party, and Miss Yvette had my mom's recipe, and so I printed it out. So everybody got my mom's spaghetti and meatball recipe at the birthday party. So that was a really cool way of, you know, kind of bringing things together with the cooking and,
Yeah.
you know, her being there.
Yeah.
So.
We talk a lot about perspective and looking for joy on this podcast. And I just want to commend her that so far in her story, she's talked about that even in these really difficult times, she would look for those things to make her happy and that she knows would make her mom happy. You know, and I'm sure there were really tough days and you said you were lost, but she actively looked for things and did things. And on top of that, I know that there's been times where you've shared rainbows that you've seen. And yes.
So what's the story behind that?
Well, that is the rainbows have to do with her son. So we'll talk about that
okay.
next.
We'll get to
but
that. Gotcha.
but I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that the reason why Emily sees those is because she's looking for them. And there's so many people that are experiencing loss. And of course, it's hard not to drown in the negativity. You and I both lost somebody.
Yes.
But if you're not actively looking, if you're not trying, you're not going to just see them.
No.
You have to look for it.
Right.
And that's an important part of your everyday life of making sure that you're looking for joy. So that way, when you're going through those hard times, it's just a part of your habits
Right.
to look
point.
for the joy.
Always.
And I do want to get into the loss of your son and how you've done such an amazing job of honoring him. But did you?
Emily, I
Go
do
ahead.
because because mine kind of transitions into
Yeah.
that. Can you think of a trait or a personality trait, something about your mom that you would like to see passed down to your son or your children that you had? What was something about your mom that you think, oh, I would like to see that trait passed down?
I would have to say sometimes not taking life so seriously and allowing yourself to have fun, even if, it might not be the norm. Or my mom always found ways to be fun and to have fun, sometimes to a fault. But, it's like the little moments to find happiness. I mean, she would, and I have some of them in my house, like these little paintings and everything that are just like of a monkey that's really funny. And I asked her, I said, why would you buy these? Like, they're not, she would say, I just like to buy anything that's going to make me smile. Like when it comes to art or things
As
like
opposed
that.
to being aesthetic, she wants something that actually brings
just
her joy.
that would make her laugh.
No, and I love how you said sometimes to a fault, because but that's Jenny and I's big thing.
Right.
We are like inappropriate humor, and in any situation. So I love it that you loved that about your mom, and you see what kind of,
because sometimes I can be a little of the opposite. Not that I'm not fun, but I have to kind of like remind myself to, not take everything so seriously or not have to have everything so perfect, to kind of just like make mistakes and, go about life and just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah. So just keeping fun as the mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because life's short, and we know that.
Yes.
So.
And if you're able to, do you think you could, I feel like it would be a lot for you to probably tell the whole story of Brennan, but maybe just start off by telling us what he was like.
Okay. He, little blonde, curly hair, was obsessed with outside, beautiful blue eyes. And my husband and I, we both have brown eyes, brown hair. All my kids are, brown. And Brennan just came out and he was just beautiful with blue eyes. And we always said, maybe they're going to change. Maybe they're going to change. No. Well, he was fast. He was very fast, very busy, very, very busy. And at 2.5 could do donuts, like 360, like turns on a go-kart, on a little go-kart that he couldn't even see over. And he was just, so we always say like donuts in the sky.
Oh.
But I mean, he was beautiful and sweet and lovable, and just loved everything about being outside. And you mentioned the run that I do. That's to get people outside and active,
I love the
because he
connection.
loved being active and outside, and he loved Mickey Mouse.
Where did Brennan fit in with your other children? Like, how many kids do you have?
He's the youngest. So we have 4. My oldest stepson, and then Brennan was our little caboose. So.
I like the run you're on. I definitely want to hear more about that run.
And I did meet him, and he was beautiful. This just like blonde curly hair, and it was so crazy that he had those blue eyes out of nowhere,
like crystal. They were very blue.
Yeah. And maybe if you could just take us to the night that he left us.
Okay. So Brennan did have febrile seizures. They say it wasn't the cause of death, but very well could have. It's kind of one of those, don't really know. But he did have a fever that day, and we had put him to bed, and I get choked up. We put him to bed, and I had told my husband to go check on him. He was only in bed for maybe like an hour, if that, maybe 45 minutes. And JR he had just gotten home from work, went to go check on him to give him Tylenol or whatever we normally give him. And he wasn't breathing. So of course, we called 911, and I ran to go get the neighbors, because it just scared me. I'm like, but in that moment did not think anything, because he's had a few seizures where they were pretty scary. But so we went and waited for them to come, and we spent all night the hospital, and all night then they transported him to Oshner, and he didn't make it. And it was nothing like you could ever
Surreal,
imagine.
I'm sure. I mean, you had to have felt like you were in a dream.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah.
I remember you said that night was a full moon.
It was. So he was born, when he was born on Halloween, there was a full moon and it was huge. And then when he passed, it was a full moon. And so we honor basically anything in the sky. but so every
donuts.
every time I see a moon, the big full moon, it's like, it's just, your heart almost just, you just flutters because it feels
I
like.
want to think of that now when I see a full.
Mhm.
I always think of it every time. And which I think is so nice that you share these stories, because when you do, it does keep his memory alive, because I think of it.
Right.
Whenever I see a full moon, I'm like, oh, like that's Brennan. That's the full moon.
And it also kind of lets you like appreciate things in the sky that you would never maybe like really appreciate. Like when you really look at rainbows, how beautiful are they? And how amazing is it that, that's there. But
yeah. I remember whenever she posted that night saying to please pray for Brennan. And so we were all praying, and then a few days later, Emily reached out to me, and at that point, we had still only just had small, times where we had connected for a little bit. And she was like, you know what? I want your help picking out the flowers for the funeral, because I want this to be a beautiful day.
mm-hmm.
I don't want.
I remember this, Jenny.
She's like, I don't want sad flowers. She's like, I want happy flowers, beautiful. I want this to be, which I think is so great. I think that people forget to celebrate life so much. And yes, there's a lot of celebrations of life that people do, but a lot of people still traditionally do funerals.
Right.
And I, like you, can't bear the thought of doing something so depressing for somebody who lived so happily.
Right.
And so she wanted this time to be a time of beauty. And so we both went to the florist together.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the florist before, because I don't think she normally did anything like this. She does a lot of events, and I was like, listen, she wants this to be something really amazing to honor her son. And she, of course, Sarah,
amazing.
the florist, yes, she was like, I absolutely want to be a part of this. Like, I want to make this beautiful for her, because she was a mom too. And so we went to the florist, and I remember going to the celebration of life that day. I remember I went with Casey and Elena, and I remember seeing people walk in, and we were just, before we walked in, we were like, how are we going to go in here? How are we going to go in here? And of course, Emily was standing up there just looking strong and put together, and she had her makeup done to look nice. And I'm sure she had to do that for herself to be able to stand up there, but I feel like a part of you was probably doing that for your kids too, because you had to keep going. And that really brings me to how, while you were experiencing all of this grief and just not even knowing what happened because this was so sudden, how were you able to parent your other kids?
That's a good question. So it was summer. And I just kept thinking, somebody had told me once, that their friend's mom or somebody had passed away, the daughter, and the mom just was always crying, always in the bed. And I did not want that for my children. I didn't. And I know that I'm a very busybody. Like, I don't sit still. So I just kind of kept going, and I just wanted to show up for my children. They loved Brennan so much, like everybody was obsessed with him. And so they were hurting too, really bad. And in order for us, I felt like as a family to kind of keep going and not fall back into a dark, deep place, we just kind of kept living. And we just tried to make things normal. We had routines, summer camps, and a lot of my friends helped out a lot with them. And some days I would just say, I need help. And the gym also was a huge thing for me, just being able to release and, go have an outlet to where I can kind of release my stress and grieve. And in the beginning, it was definitely day by day and more so like fight or flight.
Yes.
So once it kind of slowed down.
Yeah, and I remember it wasn't long. How long before y'all left to go to the beach, or was it right after?
It was right. I mean,
yeah, which
it was
I
for
think
JR's birthday,
was
which was
good
like the 14th.
for y'all to just go get away.
It was.
But what strikes me is that this is perfect for Mother's Day because she is the essential mother. I mean, what did she do when everything was falling apart around her? She focused on her children and their lives. And it sounds like your mom did the same for y'all.
Absolutely.
She always was the life of the party. She was going to be happy. She was going to find happiness and make sure that y'all felt that.
Yes.
And you in turn turned around and did that for your children. Yes. And that's why I'm glad we're doing this on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Because I feel all different mothers are celebrated for different reasons and for different journeys. And mostly that you're willing to come on here and talk about this because this is helping other people. It makes them stronger. When they can see that you're doing this, it can help somebody else feel, let me just take that one more step.
I can do it too,
I
because
can
she's
do it
been
too.
through so much, and she's just like,
Now, I
I'm
could
gonna
not do
keep
this.
going.
I'm just letting you know.
Yes, you could.
But everybody else
but everybody
listening,
else
do
does.
what Emily does. Yes.
Sometimes.
We have to call out your friends too, because we are very lucky in this community, the villages that we have surrounding us.
Right.
And I mean, I'll let you speak to it, but just from an outsider watching the people that came and rallied around you during that time, we both went to the same all-girl Catholic high school. We were a few years apart, but seeing everybody just come back to be there for Emily, to lift her and her family up was really incredible.
Yeah.
And I want to hear from Emily about that experience.
I mean, everybody was amazing. Community, great. I mean, even you, I will never forget what you did for us and just going to that meeting. I just text her and she's there. And,
I remember her calling me up and telling me, Mom, I really don't know this lady very well. We went to the same school. This is what happened.
I said, I'm just going to take a bold move.
And she asked me to do this. And kudos to you for saying this is what I need and this is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like you said that you liked my eye for florals, but also I was like, it might be easier for someone like me to go into the meeting that wasn't quite as close with her son, that could disconnect and get through the meeting, as opposed to somebody who was very close with her might not be able to do that. I mean, everyone just lost him.
Yes.
It wasn't just you, not to take that away from you, but like Emily's very strong, and maybe not everyone else around her could do that, could make it through that appointment.
And that is very true. Like you said, everybody, like, he was so small and so young, yet he was,
had such a presence.
Had such a presence that it hurt everyone, and then everyone feeling hurt for us. But my friends, people at the gym, I mean, from there, I even became super close to other people that I, wasn't necessarily best friends with. It just kind of really opened my eyes to, what we all can do when we just come together. And of course, meals, that's amazing. Like, I think that's the number one thing you can do for grieving parents is meals.
Yes. One less thing you have to think
completely
about.
agree with that.
And mothers in general.
Yes, I completely agree with that. And in fact, Emily brought something whenever we were having my dad on hospice. Emily, we were at Coffee Rainy.
I just see that as providing those meals, kind of whether they need it or not. you're taking care of someone.
Mhm.
When someone provides a meal for you, you're nourishing them.
Right.
You are comforting them.
Mhm.
And it's a way of people being able to do that.
Right. And it takes one less thing off your plate.
Emily, if you could, because as people, we're all going to go through this where we meet with somebody or know someone that goes through a tragedy like this. What did you find was the best way for people to talk about this, or to talk to you, or to ask you how you were doing? I mean, that's something that someone who's not going through it struggles with.
Right. I always, and I'll say this no matter what, like, if it's just the best to just ask, how are you doing? Or just to bring up Brennan's name, or, to speak about him, to not feel like you can't talk about him because it'll make you upset. Because if it makes you upset, that's okay.
Yeah.
You have to get through things. You have to go through the motions. And if it does make you upset, maybe I needed that in that moment that day, and there were times when it could have been a random person that just asked me how I was doing, and that, they saw him at the pool at Stone Creek, and, or they would send pictures, and it was just keeping his name in conversation still to this day, and just making, like, still asking even if they felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think
Instead of
that's
avoiding.
huge. Yeah. Because a lot of people do, because they don't know what to do. They don't know if it's touchy or,
Right here, and this is ridiculous, but let me just tell you a little thought process behind that, because this is how I feel. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe she's having a great day. She's not thinking about this. And then all of a sudden I'm going to remind her, and that's going to bring her down. That's kind of the thought process behind that.
The thing about it, though, is he's on my mind all day, every day. And so some moments, some days are harder than others. But for the most part, it's not a break in, in a day. It wouldn't make a good day bad if you brought him up. It'd probably make it better.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
that's great. That's
That's a good way to
helpful
look
for
at
me,
it.
and I'm sure to other people too.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would definitely say that I just never try and bring up anything that could have any type of negativity or conflict around it. But that's a good point to bring up, that he's not negative.
Mm-mm.
He was a positive. So it's good to bring him up, like, oh, he would have liked this. And if it makes you a little sad,
Right.
that's okay too, because he still gets to be a part of it.
Right. Exactly.
At this time, how did this affect your faith, or how did you use your faith? I mean, a lot of times at this point, people would be mad.
Right. So it'll be 3 years in June. Right after it happened, of course, I think everybody kind of has that why, but I would just be sitting there and I'm like, I needed something else. I've always, I went to a Catholic school, all the things, but I wasn't ever really in tune with my faith as I was after my mom, but not like it is formed now. So I decided I was going to go to church. It was probably about 5 months after Brennan passed. And I haven't really looked back. I've just really found that the only, way I can be together with him again is to have that faith and to know that, I will be with him again one day. But I like to keep my faith strong and just continue just praying and talking to him, and I feel like that gets me closer. So
Yes, and then you deciding, I'm going to have this faith. I'm going to have this
Right.
childlike faith, because this is how I can get through it.
right.
Very nice.
I want to remember my question so bad, because it was just like a really good question. And hopefully it'll come back to me. I just remember like looking
It
at
will.
Emily.
It'll come back
Well,
to
like,
you.
you know how when you're talking to somebody,
the
but you're
time.
trying to be polite and let the other person talk, but your eyes are burning because you're like, if this other person
Yes,
keeps talking,
I'm
I
gonna
will forget
it.
Jenny,
I
you
want to
know
be
you
mad
can
at you
interrupt
right
me.
now.
Well, you
I wanna
can.
be mad.
You,
I'm trying to
you-
work on my politeness and my manners.
You don't have to. You don't have to with me.
All right, next time I'm cutting you
Yes.
off.
Say, this is important. I need
Yeah.
to ask.
Well, I will say that I liked that Emily said that, it kept her faith strong.
Mhm.
And I remember saying that after my dad passed, like, I took something that could have broken me and I let it strengthen me. And I feel like through your losses, you've taken those moments only to rise from them. Because that's what can you do? You can go up or you can go down.
Right.
And I think that's huge for anyone listening who's grieving, and we're all going to experience loss.
Right.
We're all going to. So these stories aren't for you to feel bad for us. It's to guide you and help you when you experience this, and to know that you can go through some really heavy times and you can come out of it.
Right.
And that's probably my next question is, what were the first steps that you took after? So he passed away. We celebrate his life. You go on this trip with your family. Then you're home. What happens after everything kind of quiets down?
It's definitely, it's exactly that. It quiets down, it slowed down messages, all the things kind of just slow down. And like you said, you can either go up, down, what do I do? Of course, I go to the gym. And I did worry a little bit. I'm like, are people going to judge me because I'm at the gym and not at home in my bed with tears, which I did do a lot of that.
Yes.
A lot of times in the bathtub. I have my moments. I have my days where I would cry. But in order for me to know and keep living with it, I chose to find an outlet, which was the gym. And immediately, one of my friends, she was like, my sister's here and she lost her son 10 years ago. I'd love for you to come meet her. And then I went upstairs and I met Joy, exactly as her name sounds. She was full of joy. And we met and we connected and we actually started a grief group. And so we would meet every week, and it was all women who've lost children. And two of them actually being at the gym as well. And so it was like, whoa, you were we did combat together. We didn't even know that. I didn't even know that you had lost a child. So being around that really, really helped me. Those ladies, that was a big step. Yes, that was a huge step, is just finding, other people who have been through your pain, because this is a pain that is like no other. And so that was one of my first steps, was really just finding I needed something. I needed faith. I needed a group of women who could, understand me. Because, everybody, my friends, everybody's great, but it really, when you can just be raw and they know, and
your friends didn't necessarily walk the walk, even though they know you in and out and want to be there for you as much as these other women who just met you. These other women have experienced what you have experienced.
Without doubt, I think connecting with someone else who's going through the same thing as you and experience that pain, it's just a different level.
Right.
And
and I will say time, and everybody grieves different. And that's another big thing, is there is no one way to grieve. You could be the one that's on the couch, for a year, and that's okay. And that's what I just had to tell myself, that I don't really care what other people think about the way that I'm walking this walk. And, JR, my husband, grieved very differently. It was the total opposite of me. And I did have an epiphany at some point, and I was like, I need to slow down a little bit, because I was walking too fast. And when you slow down and you really, but I just let myself feel it.
Well, and I think that's all part of learning.
The
grief thing. You're going to go towards this angle first. This is it. This is how I'm going to do it. And you're like, okay,
fast lane,
hold up.
Just,
it's not working so much anymore.
Right.
Let me pivot. Let me.
I like that you said that for a minute you worried that people would judge you going to the gym, because I told my mom this before in another episode, that sometimes I feel like people worry when they're going through something that people are going to judge the way they're
Right.
grieving, whether it's even just if it's a divorce or they lost their job. Like if people are still choosing joy
Right.
during that time, that people are going to
It's
judge
like
them.
not okay or
But
something.
you shouldn't, because how are they going to get through those really hard moments
Right.
if they're not looking for joy and
Right.
finding joy and doing things that make them happy? So I think that's really important for our listeners to know, that if you are experiencing any kind of loss in your life,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to still go out there and do things that make you happy. And if other people see that and have anything to say about it, then they must have never experienced
Right.
loss and known that joy would get them out of it.
Right. And that's the other thing too, is also with our children, we still had to, we still had to go to the school events and do all the things for them. And I think it does help. It helps to get out there, and it helps to, honor him and do all these things. So,
and also the gym, which you could speak to this, and I'm sure y'all could both speak to this, and moving your body
mm-hmm.
and what that does for your brain.
Mm.
So I think that was a really good choice
Mm-hmm.
of choosing joy,
Right.
is to move your body. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you think shifted in your mind when you started. I know you've always gone to the gym, but you started to take things a little bit more seriously at the gym. And I want to know what that changed in your mind and your body for grief.
Right. So I actually started going to the gym a little bit more frequently right after my cousin and my aunt had passed away, within about a month or two of each other. And my cousin we worked together for like 12 years, very close. And I needed to find some health and I was just upset and angry. And I'm like, I just wanted to be healthier. And so I started going to the gym, and then I just realized I loved it way more than I probably should. So, but then after Brennan passed, it truly, moving my body, just getting out there, even if I'm having, and that was the other thing, so he passed at night, he passed at 7 a.m. So I came home, all my friends were over, and one of my friends looked at me and she said, "Do you want to go for a walk?" Because I just didn't know how to just sit.
Yeah.
And we went on the longest walk, and we found all these feathers, which is my sign from my
I remember
mom.
the feathers. Yeah.
And it just solidified that fresh air and moving your body and exercise. It does things that I can't even explain.
Yeah. It's like it reminds
and
your
I know
body
there's
to
lots of
keep
science
living
about
too.
it, but
Yeah.
I just look at the way I feel after and the way that my mental state needed it. It craved it. And it still does. It still does get me through hard days.
So tell me a little bit more about this run, and when is it and all that? Because
so we just do. It's it doesn't benefit anything. It's just a way once a year we get together, and I like to do it for the full moon. So, and we call it the Moonlight March for Brennan, and it's in my neighborhood. And it's 3 miles. You can walk, you can run, you can get on a golf cart, you can scoot. It's just really fun to, celebrate Brennan and all of his activity outside and getting people to move. And then in October, also, we do the Brenny Challenge, which if you could just walk or run or whatever for a mile a day in October, just another way to honor him and to move our bodies. So.
Wow.
Turning pain into purpose.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the Moonlight March for Brennan. When you first, what gave you the idea? Like, what sparked the idea?
It was a few of my girlfriends. We were in my kitchen, and I was like, we got to do something, And this is probably a few days after he passed, because the first walk that we did was July 3rd, a month after he passed on June 3rd. And we were sitting there, and we were bouncing ideas off of each other, and the full moon, and then Lauren was looking up on her phone the next full moon, and it just just happened. And then they just made it all come together. Like we all just, when you just have those ideas
Yes.
and and it just happened. And so we did it in July or, the next year. And then this past year, I couldn't get my stuff together. I just couldn't do it in the summer. So we ended up doing it in October, and it was a lot nicer because it was cooler.
I could imagine that it was nicer in October.
Yeah, it was much better. And I'm like, that's his birth month, so we'll keep it in October because July is and everybody was busy and all that with summer
But I really like how it's just for his memory.
Yep.
It's just for his memory, not only for that, but to also help other people try to make them happier.
Right.
By getting outside, feeling that exercise,
Yep.
getting that body moving.
And it rained and we just still loved it. We were just, dancing in the rain and
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your days look like now that you said this June, it'll be 3 years.
It'll be 3 years, yeah.
What are your days as a mother looking like right now?
Right now. So I work out and then I go work for Neat Method and then what do? Take care of the kids. We do gymnastics.
You have 3 kids. I think you've got a lot to do.
It's been a really long day. We go to birthday parties. We do all those things. We just, it is getting closer to Mother's Day. It's always, and just leading up to his anniversary. It definitely gets heavier. I'm already starting to feel the heaviness this past month. Easter's always very difficult for us. But we just try and keep on doing daily routines, and my husband's able to get the kids and bring them to school, which is very helpful. So I'm able to do something that I love. And then I teach combat on Wednesday nights and sub on Saturdays sometimes. So it just kind of.
Well, we call that setting the table. So when we told this story back on one of our other podcasts, where when I had a disappointment in life very, very young, my mother acknowledged it. And then she said, now go set the table. It's time for dinner. So no matter what the disappointment is, you have to continue on with life.
Right.
You've got to set the table. You've got to eat dinner. You got to put the kids to bed.
Yep.
And then you got to get up the next morning and do it all again. And you brought up a very good point. You're like, what do I do?
What do I do?
You do the mundane things in life that everyone else does.
Right.
Because that's life.
Yeah.
That is life.
What did you do to guide them through grief? And what have you noticed in the difference between your kids' grief from your own?
Oh, that's a good question. I immediately got them into counseling. That was the best decision because sometimes I didn't know the right things to say. Sometimes they would act out and you don't really necessarily know why. And they didn't always like going, but they went for a good 1.5 years or so. And I think that truly helped with just being able to talk to somebody that isn't your mom. And just, I always told them, no matter what, if you're sad, if you're happy, I want you to share it with us. And I want you to be able to communicate your feelings as hard as it is, because you could just go on and just fake it because you, just like you said, don't want to upset somebody or, they always know that they can talk about Brennan. If I'm happy, they can bring him up. They can be sad, and we're going to sit in the moment and we're going to talk about it and talk about him. So that definitely.
That's really good advice.
Helps.
I feel like for moms is letting your kids know that bring up the loss anytime you feel like you need to, whether it's a happy moment or a sad moment, for kids to know that I don't want to bring it up to mom right now.
I don't want to upset her.
Right. So that's nice that you told your kids that they're allowed to feel still.
Right. And we still do. We'll still be hopping around and all of a sudden, and I mean hop because my kids are hopping all over the place. And Carmela, she'll just come out of the blue and, I really miss Brennan. And we'll sit in it and we'll talk about him. And the other thing too is just thinking about Carmela is a lot of times random places like the grocery store, they'll be like, how many children do you have? And sometimes I'll just 3, or I don't know why, but it's like, sometimes it could lead to more. And I'm like, the grocery store teller doesn't necessarily need to know my whole story right now. But Carmela will look at me and be like, is it okay? And she'll say, well, we have 4, one's in heaven. And she'll just, and I know, because sometimes it's kind of awkward, but she doesn't ever allow me to say the 3. And I don't know why I do, but sometimes you're just caught off guard. And so,
or
she
good
does
point.
not
Listen,
allow
there's
it.
people behind you in the checkout line.
Right.
Just trying to gathering everyone.
And this has happened numerous times. I mean, Starbucks, Winn-Dixie. I'm like,
That's so
funny.
cute that she'll be like,
Oh yeah. And now she doesn't even look at me and ask if it's okay. She just says it. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So now I just say 4.
Yeah, but
Right.
I
'Cause
also
it's
think
true.
it's okay
Yes.
for you to say 3 when you don't, and
Right.
not in the place.
Right. To explain, because it always comes down
Yes.
to more questions.
Yes,
It
of
inevitably
course.
always does. And
Yeah.
then it gets, so Carmela just takes that out.
How old is
works.
she?
She's 7.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she's 7 going
adorable.
on like, I don't know, 20.
Lots of energy.
Yes, just like her mother.
Uh-huh.
Well, she's got a handle on this, so she's helping you out, Mom.
Yes, she is. She's
This is really for our listeners right now, and I just have to say though that I feel like you've been so insightful. I thought I knew you, but you speak so eloquently,
Oh, thank
and
you.
so you give such good advice. I'm very impressed.
Oh, thank
I'm very
you.
impressed. So I want to give the listeners this answer: is what would you say to somebody who finds Mother's Day really hard because of a loss they've experienced? What would you say?
I would say just allow it. Just let yourself live in the hard. Because I struggle with it too on Mother's Day. I really do. I sometimes just want to be alone. And that's not really me,
Yeah.
but it's okay to feel all the things. If you've lost even, a great grandmother or anybody, it's okay. And also the ones who aren't able to have children or,
Right.
it's okay to feel how you feel and just let yourself feel that. It's your day. You know? You're the mom. You get to be the boss of your own feelings.
Yes.
And you can tell your family I need this time, And sometimes it's easier said than done because, expectations and the reality of just wanting to feel like you're putting on some kind of, I don't know, sometimes you could feel like you're putting on a performance just for everybody else, but you have to really think about yourself just like any other day, but just feel it and live in the moment. And if you're sad, be sad.
Okay.
I
can see that how Mother's Day is performative because
It
you're
is.
trying to appease to everyone who's doing something.
I get
for
like
you,
that
and
around
you're
holidays.
Like, I don't even want that.
Right. Right.
I don't want any of this.
Right.
I wanted to do it like this. Yeah.
And especially after like the big holidays for losing a child, or I was like, you know what? It's about me and my family. And if we can't make it to this big dinner with the whole family, we don't need an excuse. We can't make it. And we do the things that are what we need.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think if mothers truly had things their way for Mother's Day, it'd be like, I just want to lay in bed and read a book, and I really don't even want to talk to all of y'all.
Exactly.
I feel like all mothers would probably just on that one day choose to just be alone.
But then my guiltiness would kick in and I'd be like, where are my little children?
Yeah.
But-
What's been the most proud you've been of yourself over these past few years since losing him? Like, what's one moment that you're like, I didn't know I had this in me, and I'm really proud of myself for this?
I would say I have 2
let's
pretty
hear 'em.
big. I do, because I've stepped out of my comfort zone a lot. One would be with body combat. I used to literally faint giving speeches at school, like pass out. And the fact that I was like, I'm just going to do it. And if I fail, I fail, but you got to try. And that was another thing with my mom. She would always encourage us just to reach for the stars, you know. But so that would be one big thing. And now I can get up there and I can laugh at myself, and, you know, I mess up and I just keep on, keep it on. And then I started Brenny's Blessings with my aunt, and we host a semi-annual kids consignment sale, and a portion of it goes to Brenny's Blessings, which is still, you know, trying to figure out how we're maneuvering it with everything, but to give back to other families that are having a loss like us, or, you know, tragedies and whatnot. But
wow.
But those were two big, milestones and things that I would never probably do otherwise. But I love it.
Jenny,
I'm proud of myself.
Between her class and Nicole's class, we're going to get in shape.
I know.
Well, we're going to get you in shape.
Yes.
She is in shape. Jen's
But
in
I
shape.
do every now and then I'll pop in Emily's class. I'll not gonna lie, I haven't been to combat in
It's
a
been a while.
while.
You used to like that.
I do. I do still like it, but they changed the time.
I know.
On Saturday
I know.
morning.
You hear that, Stone Creek?
Yeah, Stone Creek. You changed the
Wait,
time.
they didn't make you do it earlier.
They did.
Oh,
They made me
that's
do
not
it
gonna work.
earlier.
They did.
And
But that's the good thing about my class.
oh gosh.
5:15 p.m.
Oh, I thought you were about to say in the morning.
No,
I was
I
like,
wouldn't expect you to come to that. But yeah.
well, hopefully I make it back to body combat. But I feel like this has been such a treat for
Yes.
Mother's Day. And I call it a treat because through loss, you have turned so many experiences of loss into beauty and into hope and resilience for yourself, for your kids, for anybody who's listening right now. Emily has the word brave in her last name.
Thank you.
Bravender.
Oh my God.
She is,
That's
And
right. I
she-
didn't even know that.
and she is so brave
That's
to come
hilarious.
share this story with us today for everyone else. Everyone else gets to benefit from the work that Emily has put in to learn how to make it through this. And now she gets to share that with people and help guide them through loss.
They do, Emily. I mean, I feel that way.
Thank you.
I'm just so blessed to
Hear the
your
story.
hear your story, and appreciative of you sharing that with us. It gives something to other people.
And that's why at 12:30 when I was at work in New Orleans and you asked me, I'm like, any opportunity, and I was very honored, but any opportunity to share Brennan. And it was a nice surprise being able to, you know, kind of open up about my mom as well.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, I was like, absolutely. Even though I
Yes.
prepared none and I'm here, but it's okay.
You
Well,
didn't.
and-
You're sharing the story of your life, and you
Yep.
did it so beautifully. And we talk a lot about positivity and being a light and shifting your perspective. And you are the epitome of the Hey Hot Mama podcast. It
thank
was a
you.
delight to have you on here.
Jenny,
And
all these guest speakers are making us look
I
bad.
know. I
Nothing.
know. You know what? Really, I have all these guest speakers come on here just for you to help you shift you perspective.
It
Shift
truly
your
has.
perspective.
It truly has.
I don't think she needs shifting.
Oh, she needs some shifting.
I see those cartwheels.
She needs a little shift.
I shifted today.
I need to come to your classes. I need,
And
to
then
come
she
to your
needs to shift some
classes.
things. She
Yeah,
needs
and
to
then I
shift
need to
some
shift
weights
some
from
things.
arm to arm.
But I think that this episode is just a reminder that there is still so much joy and so much life to be lived, even after really incredible loss.
Yes.
Emily has lost a significant amount in her life, and she takes all of it and she just lifts it all up because, like we said, you can go down or you can go up, and you can go up to be with all of those people that were once here with you.
Yes.
So thank you to everyone for listening to Emily's story. And we hope that you have an amazing Mother's Day coming up, no matter if your mother is here with us on earth or she is in heaven, or if you are trying to become a mother right now. We hope that you're able to enjoy that day and live in it, like
Yes.
Emily said, no matter how you feel. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you.